I'm starting to feel like this rain is probably trying to just keep me hostage. I don't have a way of going out and staying dry because it's still kind of warm, and the only waterproof coat I've got is a thick winter coat that you'd wear in like snow or on like windy cliffs in Cornwall, you know? Kind of hoping it dries up later so that I can go out and go for a bit of a walk later on. Otherwise, this morning it's about 9 o'clock now. I've done all of the prep that I need to do to send emails and stuff later. So I've got like kind of all the messages already drafted, saved, ready to go. I've got all my tasks set up. I usually send my emails in the afternoon because I feel like that's more likely to hit people's inboxes rather than in the morning. No, I've got no backing up of that. I've got no proof that that's the case, but that's what I'm going with. That's the hunch I'm going on. Today is like the last day that I'm inside the house for the majority of the day. I'm going out this evening to a networking event, but like over the next 2 days, I'm out all morning and I'm out all afternoon. So I've only got 2 half days at home. So it's really important that I like get on top of the things that I need to get on top of today, so that I'm in a position where I can still be productive tomorrow, even when I'm out of the house for half the day. And with that in mind, we are going to be doing some programming. Thinking tomorrow when I'm out and I'm working in my like hot desking office, I'm going to be working on my blog post. So today I'm going to be trying to get on top of everything else so that I can do that and work on an application thing that's on this list. Oh, let's tick off the things I've done so far this week on my to-do list. I'm feeling good about this week. I really am. It's been a really busy week and I've still got lots done. So tomorrow, next week when it's less busy, I should be like, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Nice old chunk of development done there. Again, I've updated the microservice to expose some events that need to be triggered via a function. There is now an Azure function that's listening to messages being raised by event grid when the ACR is being updated. So that's Gucci. That's all being routed through. It's interesting because this is the first like sprint I've done where I've done estimates on stuff. And obviously yesterday, I came in massively under estimates. So I estimated about 10 hours of worth of work and I did it in 5. But that was mainly because there was a lot of unknowns. This, in theory, I knew about it all. One of the tasks didn't take me very long at all, but that was just updating configuration. I knew that wouldn't take me very long, but I estimated it as small as it lets me estimate. And then the next task I estimated as an hour and it took me an hour and a half. And it's interesting because I need to figure out like how accurate my estimates are, where I need to get them better and where I need to improve my estimates. That's like user stories and task sizes. And also figuring out how much I can fit inside of a sprint. So this week has been quite like busy, me being in and out of the house and whatnot. And I've only got, estimated, I only have 8 hours worth of dev work left. And I'm obviously going to steam through that. So, well, I haven't said that. See, I'm out tomorrow morning. So it's interesting. I'm probably going to end up pulling in another story, which I've got stories ready to pull in. But yeah, it's interesting, especially because next week I should have in theory, a significantly higher velocity, because I'm doing less networking. In theory, the things I'm doing that aren't networking will stay the same. But like the meeting I had on Monday, the thing I'm going to tonight, the thing I'm going to tomorrow morning, and the thing I'm going to on Friday afternoon, those 4 things are chunks of time that I would otherwise spend programming. The things like generating emails I should be spending all the time. I am, however, going to go out for my walk now. I didn't go for my walk earlier. I feel like I need it. And then I'm going to come back, smash out, now I've finished that work, smash out another email before dinner. That's my plan. I'm starting to feel a little bit penned in, and I feel like as much as I don't need to go for this walk, I could do some programming now, but I could do some work now, but I feel like it'd be more productive if I just went now. I feel like I run the risk of kind of getting to the point where even that doesn't help anymore, you know what I mean? So I've kind of got to do it early enough where it's going for a walk is like really refreshing and resets your mind, rather than it's trying to like chuck a bucket of water on a building fire, you know what I mean? Preventative rather than the cure and all that shit. So let's go for my little wander around. Now it's probably not going to rain again. No, I probably said that too early, didn't I? LOL! What's the temperature outside? Boys! See, it's 12 degrees out. It's still warm. You see, it's tempting to not go out for this walk Kind of like when I went for my meeting in town. Like, it was tempting not to go out for my walks because I'm going out later. Like, I was just saying how there's time tonight that I'm going networking, which I normally spend developing. That doesn't mean, though, that I take out more stuff. Like, I have basically all the time in the world to do work, so I should allocate work time to do work rather than allocating all of the things that keep you sane to do more work, to make up for the time because you're using work to do a different kind of work. Does that make sense? I think it does make sense. But yeah, I'm just now trying to justify it because I've just almost talked myself out of it, so lol. But I would have gone this morning if it wasn't chucking it down with rain. I need to buy an umbrella, god damn it. Some kind of like waterproof rain mac, but I just can't bring myself to do that, you know? I hate them. That was quite a good walk, that. Not only did it like kind of time box the task I was just doing there, just drafting an email to exactly half an hour because I got back half an hour before I was due to have lunch. But I also walked through like I go through like this park which has like a kids playground, like a little like, you know, like with swings and like a roundabout and stuff. But it's not like a teenager's playground, you know what I mean? Some things are like, sometimes you go to playgrounds which are insane. They're like huge stuff. It's like for baby stuff. Anyway, there's two people there. There's like two women with babies, and someone like mum gets a baby out of a like pram. And I mean, when I mean baby, I mean like this baby can run. So I don't know how old that is. You know, I don't know what that means in the world of babies. But this kid gets out of the pram and just like sets its eyes on the swings, and it like runs at the swings like with its arms out, and it's got a little like fluffy hat on, and it's like big coat, wellies, because it's been raining recently, and like just like running at the swing. And then as it's running towards the swing, I'm kind of like walking along here. As it runs towards the swing, it's like running like this, going towards like the baby swing. And his mum's like going towards the swing as well. And then it just like kind of looks to the right, and there's like a puddle, and it runs to the puddle, jumps in it, and then just like flops onto its belly. And then just like kind of goes like this. It was the fucking cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. God damn it, my little heart melted. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. Just been doing about an hour's amount of work, chilling in this chair, living the dream. I was chilling there. Just look at this miserable ass weather. It's not, it's the kind of rain where it doesn't feel like it's raining much, but you know you're gonna get wet, you know what I'm saying? I basically ran out. What I was trying to do is I have a thing about, if I know I'm doing something at like 5, by like 3 o'clock, I've started to switch off because I'm like, right, I need to start leaving. I hate waiting to go somewhere. And I tried really hard today to really push working up until the last possible minute. Just focus. Okay, shit, get ready to go. And it worked out quite well. So I only stopped working like 15-20 minutes before I needed to go. It's way better than like the normal hour-ish. And then I made sure that I'd get into town at the latest an hour early so that I could go and do like 45 minutes to an hour work. I actually got in an hour and 20 minutes early, so I got loads of work done. And that way I know I can be on time to this thing that I'm going to now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I like smashed through the email that I needed to prep for tomorrow and did a load of development work as well. So I'm living the dream right now. Ugh. We are now going to it's a bit of water on lens, lol. To a founders event, which is a load of tech founders in Bristol having a chat and a bit of a network. Yay. I'm trying my best to forget how much I don't like networking, and we're just gonna enjoy it, you know. I made a really good connection at the last one I went to, so let's try and make another one, you never know. Struggling to even make it across town here. It's so wet. Just camping outside in front of this building. It keeps like stopping and starting, so I'm going to try and hold off for a bit. I am more than fashionably late now though. Everyone is going to get there and they're going to be so wet. Whoa, god damn, man. Right, let's network like the best of them, boys. The thing with things like that is they're either like inspirational or they make you feel like a 5-year-old, you know? Because it's like, I kind of feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing around people. Everyone else seems to be like, maybe I'm in the wrong crowd. No one else seems to be in the position I'm in, effectively. They're all like, at least generating revenue, at the very least. If not, they've got funding. If not, they've got a fucking office, you know? It's wild. I didn't do a very good job of mingling I'm going to put my hands up there and say that. We've got 2 more events to try and get better at it. It was very much a bit of a shit show. I spoke to 2 people, both of which one of which is a 3D printing company that builds robotic arms for production lines. And the other guy is like selling things to Amazon. And here's me, you know, and I was briefly talking to another guy, and yeah, that's about it. Really, it was a really interesting talk. It was like a fireside thing, which I've never been to before. I think the other 2 things are fireside things as well, where like there's basically a guy being interviewed in front of everyone. It's a bit weird, but it was really interesting. The guy is really interesting that we spoke to is like a founder of a massive company that started in Bristol. He's the founder of, I think, Loaded Longboards. I'm like, oh shit. I know, I've heard of Loaded Longboards, but that's not the massive company. The other company, they built a company out of the software they built to sell the longboards, and it's now fucking huge. So it was really interesting. He's now a VC as well. I've never met a VC before, so that's quite interesting. But anyway, I'm ahead. I'm going to bed. I've got to get up early in the morning. So the thing tomorrow is at 8 AM. The freak. And it's wet, so like I can't longboard in. So I'm gonna have to get the bus at a stupid o'clock in the morning. I'm not happy about it. I'm not chuffed. But yeah. Anyway, bedtime. Don't ask me how, but somehow I'm 25 minutes early for a meetup in town right now, and I don't know what to do with myself. It is like 8 o'clock in the morning, so like nothing's opening. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, it's 7:30. To be honest, I would have cancelled this. I wouldn't have gone had I not organised lunch in town already today. So I'm like, well, I may as well come down earlier, go to this as well, and then like kind of do 2 things in one day rather than one thing, you know? Make the most out of my bus fare, go to a free event thing, and then do some work at my office for a couple of hours before having lunch with an old work friend, rather than just coming down for that lunch with that work friend, you know? But this is like a talk about Brexit and how Brexit is going to affect business in the cases of a deal and a no deal and all that shit. There is only like a minor focus on tech, and like looking at the attendee list, A, there aren't many, and B, the people that are there are like all HR professionals or lawyers. So I'm not crazy excited, let's put it that way. But yeah, so let's see. Let's see what it's like. Like I say, I kind of said I'd go to it because I thought it'd be semi-interesting. And then another one is coming up tomorrow, which looks way more interesting. And with that one there, had I not had lunch today, I wouldn't have gone, to be honest. I would have dropped out. But I'm going to do a 20-minute lap. So let's go for a nice little old walkie walk. I feel like yesterday's meetup didn't really go very well for me. I feel like I'm due having a chat with the person I'm having a walk with later, because I feel like I need a grounding a little bit. Being on my own all day and my head is starting to spin a little bit more than it used to, you know, all that like doubt is coming back in. I'm getting a bit like self-conscious of myself, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Some of these buildings are fucking huge, dog. Look at the size of that biatch. That was more interesting than I thought it would have been, to be honest with you. But yeah, so there's like it was about Brexit and like how small tech companies can get ready for it and all that kind of good stuff. I'm quite fortunate in the sense that I'm going to be very business to business, so I'm gonna be interfacing with people bigger than me and have kind of the policies in place already by the contract that I signed with those people. So I should be relatively alright on that front. But there is a couple of things that I hadn't thought about. I ended up sitting next to a lawyer, and lawyers know how to network, don't they? They know how to like get your details and figure out whether or not you're a client without it seeming like that's what they're doing, you know what I mean? I mean, well, I sussed it, so I guess it wasn't that good, but god damn, they're better than I am. So no, that was more interesting than I thought it would be. a little bit worrying. A little bit, no, it's not worrying at all, to be fair. I know what I'm doing. I'm quite good in the sense that I know what working in the sectors I've worked in. I've in a finance company, which are quite ahead on all of this stuff, and then a multinational e-commerce company that is already skirting, well, not skirting, but is playing in a sector that's relatively high regulation anyway. I feel like I've got enough of a base understanding to kind of blunder my way into being just about all right. You know what I mean? Without trying too hard. So I don't think I have to try much harder to be like watertight. So I'm pleased with that. I'm heading back to my office, gonna get some work done. I've got code on my laptop, so I could do some programming, but I'm planning on doing something else. I'm planning on doing like a bit of blogging today, because I need to get back on top of that. I fell off the train of the blog, and that's not good. A bit like how I fell off the train for the vlog as well. Sorry about that, boys. Semi-productive morning. I remember now why I was finding it hard, why I lost momentum with the blogs. It's because the blog I'm writing is really difficult to gain momentum on, because it's all like automation tests and security and authentication and authorization, all that shit, and it's difficult. So I did that for about an hour, basically. Yeah, did that for about an hour. Didn't get a crazy distance in. Sent a load of emails, all that kind of admin-y, communication-y stuff, and then started doing some programming. I think I've finished, but my automation tests are failing, so I've missed something. I'll take it home this afternoon, debug it, make sure it's okay, get it sorted, then merge it in and start the next one, which will be pulling in a new story into the sprint, which is good considering it's only Thursday. I'm halfway through the sprint. Or it's bad because I had no idea how much work I could get done in a week. But eventually I'll get to the point where my estimates are basically like dead on and they start being difficult to hit rather than easy. I want it to become a challenge, you know, but a feasible one. Well, you know what? I've just finished my sprint 3 days early, so that's pretty good. That does mean I've got 3 days that I should try and now fill. So I need to find user stories that fit within that time frame and pull them into the sprint. So that is 6 story points so far this week. On a week that's been quite busy, so it's not like, that's not 6 in a normal week, that's 6 in this week. And those 6 points took me no it doesn't. 11 hours. That can't be right. Basically, well, 11 hours and 15 minutes was spent working on those 6 story points. Looking back on them, I do think that they were both 3s. So I did 2 stories and both of them were a 3. I do still stand by that. I think that's pretty accurate based on the fact that the first one only happened so quickly because of how much of unknown there was. It was a 3 for unknown reasons, and then the second one was a 3 because it was a 3. Interesting. All of this stuff is going to like feed back into the loop so that when I plan the next sprint I can then do it better. I am going to update my computer. Otherwise, I'm thinking about this. I need to solve this. This is a problem. I need to figure out how to solve it. Otherwise, it's nearly 5 o'clock. I might think about this for a bit. I'm just doing a Windows update. I might think about this and some of the things I've been thinking about this morning, and see if, to be fair, it's somewhat related, see if I can come up with something. I feel like I need to do that kind of work, which doesn't feel like work because it's just thinking. But thinking is definitely still work. You know that feeling when, like, your brain's really loud, like, you can't... It feels like my brain won't stop spinning, like it won't stop whirring, but yeah, I'm simultaneously not really thinking about anything. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm thinking of anything right now, but I can't think of anything because my brain's just spinning like a son of a bitch. And yet... What? I can't think of anything because I feel like I'm thinking about too much all at once, and it's just like my whole head is like blah 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 blah, and like nothing's happening, and I'm just here like doping out, you know, like dozed out of it. That's what it feels like. I feel like I'm having some kind of like existential crisis. Yeah, like I say, I was struggling this morning. I'd knocked my confidence a little bit this morning. I had a bit of a like blip, let's say. I feel like I'm still in that blip. Call me crazy, boys, but 20 minutes in, we're going for a threefer. We're going for a threefer. So far behind on vlogs that I just need to, I need to really prioritize clumping them together so that when I do attempt to catch up, it doesn't just like take an absolute decade, you know? Otherwise, your boy's been thinking a bit about stuff. I've got a big old mind map on the wall there. I feel like it's a little bit less existential than I thought, but it is a problem that I need to address. So there's that. Otherwise, I'm chilling at home. I haven't been for my morning walk. I'm having my cup of tea now. It's wet. It's always wet. It's been wet for weeks now. I don't remember the last time it was dry. I woke up this morning just drained, just like absolutely drained. And I feel like this week or this like fortnight's really like hit me a little bit. Last night I figured out what I was doing this sprint. I'm pulling in the little bit about managing TRX files and getting them processed and pushed down into the microservices. If I get this finished, then I'll do I won't do the bit about storing it in the microservice because I doubt I'll get that finished. What I don't want to do is I don't want to end the sprint with work left to do. That's a bad habit to get into. And also, like, depending on when I finish this bit of work, which I do think I'll finish in the sprint, which is why I pulled it in, that's when I will look into what else I have to pull in. So there's some maintenance stuff I need to do, or there's this next bit, which I know will take me about a day to do. So it's like, nah, well, no, it'll be a little bit more actually, because I've got to do the gluing of the saga state, which might be a bit of a pain in the ass. So it's going to take me about a day and a half to do the next story after this one. So I'll probably do a maintenance story that I'm planning on doing, which is migrating to .NET Core 3. I can start to migrate some of the less important microservices so that I know what can and can't go wrong, you know? But yeah, so... But otherwise, I mean, it's going to be a wet weekend, so we're going to get quite a lot of work done this weekend. But I never get as much work done at the weekend as I do not at the weekend, especially when a weekend when Formula 1's on. But quali's cancelled because of a typhoon, and the race is on really early in the morning, so less of an excuse than normal. But today I have another fireside chat with a VC from Silicon Valley, which is going to be interesting. And I'm meeting someone that I met yesterday, very briefly at the talk I went to, and she is founding an AI business, and I was like, that sounds really interesting, because she doesn't sound like a technical person. She sounds like a business person, you know. And I feel like the things she's done before, she's like started companies before, by the looks of it, they're kind of in like the social media space. And it looks like she's trying to step into this AI space, not necessarily knowing how to do it, which is interesting for someone like me, because I know how to do things, you know? And I've always struggled to find people that are businessy, but aren't technical, you know? So I obviously have a technical background. There's no point in me finding someone who's technical to be, well, I'm not talking like co-foundery, but you know what I mean? But yeah, so she's looking at doing an AI business thing. From the brief, it sounds interesting from the brief like chat I had with her yesterday. But I have some questions. I was like, I messaged her straight away after. I was like, hey, do you want to have a catch up about this stuff? I know about these things, which are problems you're going to have to face to solve it. I don't necessarily know a crazy amount about AI. I know like the basics of machine learning. But yeah, so hopefully that's an interesting chat. But I'm going to that about an hour before this fireside chat. I'm going to have a chinwag. And you never know. You never know what might come out of it. So yeah, I'm feeling quite unproductive today. I'm not making much headroom. I have just developed, I've like added in, the microservice is ready to receive the results in the format that it wants them in. The function exists to consume it. I have a very filthy proof of concept getting the results out of these files. You would imagine, considering that I'm generating test results files using like a Microsoft thing, the TRX files, they're like, they power like all of VSTS, and Visual Studio uses them. I think even fucking VS Code uses them. Like everything uses them. Does it? I may be wrong. I think I'm wrong about VS Code. I don't think that has them. But anyway, but it doesn't exist anyway. Like there's no way of reading it. Basically, it's a pain in the ass. So I'm like, what I did was I dived into my old. I've actually processed them before. I've when I first wrote Spider, back when it used to be called Chaos Monkey, I obviously had to solve this problem then, and I threw together a thing inside the very original project. And that still works. I was expecting that to have kind of not stopped working a little bit because of like, it was a long time ago that I wrote it. But it works a treat. So I'm gonna use that, to be honest. And I guess it makes sense because it's MS Build underneath. But yeah, I'm surprised that like MS Build, I'm using my own NuGet package that has the results in it and shit like that. It's wild. So, but yeah, I've got that. I'm falling off the cliff a bit. So I need to chill out, I think. I need to be in like the right frame of mind for when I go to this meetup thing and this meeting later. So, right, I've had lunch, I've done my research for my meeting. I'm semi-interested. Like I said, I only got a vague inkling of what she's doing. It's going to be interesting to see if from what she initially said, it doesn't sound very possible. But I wouldn't know how to do it. As in, like, it's kind of like a research paper thing rather than like a businessy thing. But you never know. I mean, like I say, I'm interested to find out more. I've just had lunch. It's cold AF in the house, but I've just had lunch, so I always get cold around dinner anyway. But I need to head on into town. I cannot labour more how little of a fuck I can give right now. I'm done. I'm burnt this week. It's because like the weekend, I spent all weekend working as well. Just like, I can't be bothered. So I'm trying to like, come on, pep up, Jimmy, pep up. You know what, as much as I love this house, really like it, really glad we bought it. You know what I don't miss about the flat? The flat was so warm. Like, it was so well insulated. It was almost too warm, so well insulated. We wouldn't even turn the heating on until like the middle of fucking December, you know? And then we've already had the heating on. Planning on putting it on again. Probably putting it on tonight. To be fair, somewhat to combat the damp rather than because it's actually cold. But one thing I'm interested in is doing an experiment to figure out how much more money it costs to have the heating on all day, but maintaining like a moderate temperature. So it's 17.5 degrees in here now. Having the heating on all day, but maintaining like a moderate 20 degrees, versus having it turns on and turns off 2 times a day, right? So it turns on in the morning, turns on again at night. Turns on, then off, on, then off. Because effectively you're paying the money to heat the house to that temperature, and then you give it time to cool down, and then you pay to heat it up again. Whereas I wonder what the difference would be if you were just to attempt to maintain it at that temperature instead. And my theory is that it wouldn't actually be that different. Where if you like effectively turned it off overnight only, and then just kept it on all day, bearing in mind I'm now in all day, I wonder if that would be I'm not expecting it to be cheaper, but I wouldn't expect it to be significantly more, you know? I remember it being really expensive in the old flat because it was electric heaters and they were dog shit. So I think I've got everything. Last networking / meeting thing of the week. Let's just go get it. I've got to gel my hair and stuff, and then let's go get it. And tonight I'm just going to chill out. It's probably a good job I didn't roll in more than one story this sprint. But yeah, god damn it. I'm just so fucking knackered, man. Here we go, boys. Can't complain anymore. Let's get to this meeting. I'm a tad late. Well, we never actually officially agreed a time, so I'm in the time bracket that I gave. That's fine. This is always the case though. Whenever you have an umbrella, it doesn't rain. No matter how heavy it's raining, the second you walk into the shop to buy it, the second you leave, dry. I need to buy some new shoes as well. Can you hear that? Well, hear that squelch on my left shoe? Yeah, my heel is fucked, mate. I've seen the ones I want to get. I just got to order them to the house. So it's that time. There isn't a whole lot of point in me going home right now because Laura's about to leave work in 15 minutes. So I'm just going to walk around this square because you think best when you're active, you know. I had a really interesting meeting with that girl. She's got like a really interesting idea, and it's really interesting, but it's one of them ideas that's like a bit big. Like it's a research project, you know. I like helped out on like a technical from a technical perspective on a couple of things, and was like, here's a couple of directions to go with. Here's some connections you can go talk to at like the University of Bath to look at AI stuff. It's fascinating because it's a project I don't know how to solve, you know, so I'm like naturally drawn to it. But yeah, and it does look like a really big, like addressable thing, so that was good. And then otherwise we had this talk from someone who is a VC in Silicon Valley. He was talking about like the difference between the VC scene here, he does a lot of work internationally, versus America and all that kind of stuff, and it was really interesting. So, and I am just thinking about stuff, you know. I'm thinking about stuff and walking about at the same time, having people who work normal 9-to-5 jobs and are leaving their offices look at me weird. All right then, boys and girls, it's late. It's nearly 12 o'clock. To be honest with you, every day I go to sleep at 12 and I wake up at 6. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna set an alarm tomorrow, and it's gonna be bliss. We're running into our weekend, so I'm gonna cut this video here. It's already getting a bit, half an hour long already. It's a bit tasty, that. Having a little bit of a ponder. I've not really done much this evening. Basically, I waited for Laura to come finish work, came back home, we had dinner, and I've just been like tinkering on the computer, Googling some stuff. I looked up some stuff for Joy, who I met today. And it got me thinking about what it is that I'm actually good at, and what it is that I'm like. So I really need to get better at. It's late in the video, I appreciate, but let's talk through this. I had no inkling with just walking into that place and talking to Joy. Her name's Joy. No problem with that. And when I had the meeting on Monday, I had no problem with just walking in and being like, so yeah, how's it going? What you got going down? Bang. And I was helping her with like kind of the technical questions about how she could make an MVP for the thing she's trying to build, what the MVP might even be, what's kind of in the realm of possible, like how difficult is the problem she's trying to solve? It's quite difficult. And I really enjoyed that, you know? And I'm really good at that kind of thing where I can kind of like walk into somewhere and be like, here's like, boil down what you've got for me, summarize it. Right, here's what I think you need to focus on. Here's what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. I'm really good at that, and I really enjoy it as well. I really like wrapping my head around problems and solving them. And I think like my personal skills, my like people-to-people skills are best in those scenarios. So in those scenarios where like that's my job. But I'm absolute dog shit at talking to people at an event. I'm so awkward. I don't know why I can't do it. It's because I'm so hyper aware of how fake it all is, you know? I just hate it with every single morsel of my fucking brain. As soon as someone talks to me, I'm fine, you know? Up until the point, and I will latch onto them and I'll be like, right, okay, I'm set now. Let's carry on doing this, you know? But like, anything beyond that, anything that's like, if I have to go up to them or it comes to the point where they go somewhere else and start talking to someone else, I just freeze up. I'm terrible at it. And I almost feel like I need some kind of like sharp pokey thing to, when I'm in the room, because I do it, I stand in the room and I'm like, stand on my own, and I'm like, I mean, just fuck that, right? But yeah, so I'm just trying to like balance what I'm good at, what I'm not very good at, and try and figure out if there's a way of kind of bridging that gap. I feel like I'd be really good at kind of like found a speed dating kind of thing, where instead of like going and then everyone kind of meanders around and gets into groups and talks, is you can just speed date. I'd be dope at that shit. Where it's just like one-on-one, bang, we're forced into this. Like I haven't got a choice, so I'm here now. I'm really good at it if I haven't got a choice, but I'm also exceptionally good at finding an excuse not to, you know? But anyway, yes, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I enjoy doing, what I don't enjoy doing, and seeing if there's a way that I can overlap those things. And yeah, so I think it's kind of compounded by the fact that I'm kind of like that, but in general, business people-y are a bit salesman-y, you know? They're a bit like the opposite of that, where they're used to all this networking stuff. They do that like effectively for a living. I need to get better at it, but I'm good at meeting someone briefly and being like, right, let's have a meeting. Dude, that sounds like a really interesting idea. One-on-one, let's meet up about it and sort it out. But that's not scalable. Also, like I'm a walk and talker kind of guy, you know? So I'm like, I either want like a whiteboard or something so we can plan it out. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. It's late. This video's for a long video. I apologise for just rambling. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you later.